Hello students, today's agenda is to check homework. We'll be graphing with the slope and you will do 3.3. Today students will be able to graph equations by finding the y-intercept and using the slope. Before we do that, what I want you to know is that from y equals mx plus b, we have seen it already before, but the b is the y-intercept, or also called the initial point, meaning what you have right now is the first point, and it's always in a coordinate is always when x equals 0. Okay, so all of this information pertains to the y-intercept, which is b. Notice that for the y equals mx plus b, meaning the slope-intercept form of the equation, y is always by itself, is lonely. Okay, what is m? M is the slope. In Spanish is la pendiente. And it's always in fraction to graph, and if it's not, then you put it over 1. It's the rate, how many hours you go per hour, how many miles per hour, how many miles per gallon, what else, how many ounces of water you drink each day, etc., etc. So it's the rate, okay, constant rate. The formula, if you're given 2 points, is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're not going to use it as much right now, but it's good for you to see it because later on we'll come back to that. And it's rise over run. Now, rise over run, for me to understand it was a little bit difficult, and so I decided to think of as sunrise. Okay, why a sunrise? Because the sun rises in the morning, so when it's positive you're gonna go up just like the sun, but when the number on top is negative, then you'll go down. The run is like somebody running, actually, and if it's positive you're gonna be running to the right, but if it's the number is negative, you're gonna run to the left. I know that you have seen this a little bit in module L, so hopefully it's not going to be as complicated as you might think. Okay, so these are 2 examples, and basically what it means is that we have this equation and we start with 3 and we get 2 every other 1 day or 1 month. Let me see. Okay, so this is always going to be my y-intercept, meaning the first point. Okay, first point on y. And this is y. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. It's already labeled. So that's my initial point on y. Since it's positive 3, it's going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. That's my first point. To find the second point, I need 2 steps. I need my rise. And since I don't have run, remember it says as a fraction, I put the 1 in there. Both are positive. That means that I'm going to go up 2 spaces and 1 to the right. So positive 2, we don't count that point. And it doesn't start from here because some people get confused and they start 1, 2, and then 1 in here, and then they go like this. No, it's first point, and from that first point, you go up, okay, because that's the sun, and then to the right. So up 2, 1 to the right. And you can repeat the slope because it's going to help you make a better line. So 1, 2, 1. You know how you go up and then to the right? You can just figure out that the line is going to go on the same direction. I mean, straight, but on the opposite direction. So instead of up is down, instead of right is left. Okay? And it's the same line. 2 down, 1 left. 2 down, 1 left. And so we graph this point right here, and that's my line. That's all I have to do to graph with the slope-intercept. For the next one, this is my initial point. So some people say, oh, teacher, so this is y, x? Well, yeah, because this is y, meaning the y-intercept. This is the change on y over the change on x. So yes, y, x. And so you have -5, meaning that's my first point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my first point on y, but since it's negative, it went down. From that, it's gonna go down 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. Remember that that's the sign, it goes up or down. And then 1 to the right, so right there. Since we don't have to repeat 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1 this way, we can do the inverse and change the negative. This negative can go to the 1. Okay, so the 3 is positive and the 1 is negative. So it's the same as writing negative 3 over 1 is the same as positive 3 over negative 1. Okay, same thing. And so we're gonna go up 3, 1 to the left, up 3, 1 to the left, up 3, 1 to the left, and we're ready to trace our line. Some people ask me, teacher, how many points do I need to find? And I said as many as you can will help you better, because otherwise the line is not going to be as good. Those points guide you. Sometimes because the dots are so wide, we might cross it like this and then we end up with a complete different line. Okay, see how easy it is. And I know, I mean, we're gonna practice some more to make sure that you see how to get them. Okay, again, if you need to pause the video, wait a little bit and then maybe rewind it. Okay, so in here, oh, where's my initial point? I don't have any initial point, so guess what? I'm gonna add 0. And that means that I'm going to start at the origin. That's my first point because it's nothing in there. For my rise and run, I only have the rise, so I need to add the run. Okay? And so it's up. From that point, you go up 2, 1, 2, 1 to the right because it's positive. So positive and positive, positive and positive, positive and positive, positive and positive. Okay, again, if you want to find some down, that's fine. So down and left, down and left. But if you don't, that's fine also. Notice how if I do it like this, it looks like I'm aligning. But if I went 2 down, and that means I need to go here. So see, that's why it's important to really kind of see where they are gonna land. It's every 2 and 1, 2 and 1, just like 2 and 1. Okay. Always put the end arrows because the lines go infinitely on both directions. Okay, this one does have initial point, and we don't have a slope. It just has a negative in there. When we don't have anything next to the x, we're gonna add a 1 and a 1. Okay, so it's -1 for the rise, +1 for the run. So first point is at 2, 1, 2, and then -1 on y, +1, -1, +1, -1, +1, -1, +1, -1, +1, -1, +1. Okay, and I can see that it's going diagonally by 1 little square, so I'm gonna align to the dots first, but then looking to make sure that they align in there as well. There you go. Okay, so again, if there is no run, we add it. If there is no rise and run, we add both. And if there is no slope, we add a 0. Okay, so for the rise and run, it's a 1, but for the initial point, it's a 0 if there is nothing. Okay, initial point is -1. Always on y. Some people give me this point. Careful. This is always up or down. Then there is nothing. It's going to be 1 over 1. So up or down, left or right. Up, down, left, right. Okay, so that's my initial point. And then both of these are positive, so you're going to go up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and ready to trace this. Again, I can always look in here to see that they are aligned as well. Even if I don't have the dots, I know that where they are supposed to go, right? So I draw the arrows at the end, and that's it. Okay, for the next one, I have the initial point, -3 on y, 1, 2, 3. +2, +3. Now I don't have to add anything. I already have the rise and I already have the run. So I go up 2, 1, 2, and then run 3, 1, 2, 3. Be careful. Some people get confused and they want to do 3 up and 2 to the right. No, it's 2 up, 3 to the right. So this is up or down. This is to the right or left. Up 2, 1, 2, 3. Up 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the opposite will be down 2, 1, 2, 3. And you just draw the line and draw your arrows. Okay. In here, this can be tricky because there is a negative for the rise run, for the slope. This negative belongs to only one of them, not both. Only the one or only the two. And you can choose which one to give it to. And I'm going to draw one line first with green as if the negative belongs to the 1. And so we have 3, 1, 2, 3, that's my initial point. And then -1 means that it goes down 1 and 2 to the right. Okay, some people get confused and they put -1 and then -2. Be careful, -1 and then +2. -1, +2. The positive goes to the right. -1, +2. Now, this is my line. But some people say, what if I decided to give it to the 2? Okay, let me graph as if the negative belongs to the 2, not the 1. The 1 is now positive, okay? So the initial point is +3, meaning this point right here. And now the 2 is positive, okay? We're pretending, not the green line, but the orange. We're pretending that the 1 is positive, but then the 2 is negative. 1, 2, right there. So +1, 2. If you notice, it's the same line. I'm not going to be looking at the points, but rather at the line to make sure that you have the right line. And so you're going to get the same line. You might give me these points. Somebody else might give me these points, but at the same time, both lines are the same. Okay, you're graphing the same line. Okay, let's continue with the orange. So you have -1, that's your initial point, always up or down. Okay, that's the main thing that I notice. So up and down, left, right. So now we have this one. This is +4, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is +3, that means to the right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, remember that this is the sun, so the sun, el sol sube al cielo o baja. Y este corre a la izquierda o derecha, como es positivo, a la derecha. Okay, so este es el primer punto. El sol es positivo, so sube, es de día. El 3 es positivo, a la derecha. Okay, 3. And so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's my line right there. And I'm just checking to make sure that it's 4 and 3. There you go. So that's where my line is gonna go. Okay, with the arrows at the end. Again, if we don't have initial point, that means that my initial point is 0. That means I have $0 and then I get $1 every 3 weeks. So $0, I get $1 for every 3 weeks. $1 for another 3 weeks. Okay, so my line is gonna go. Again, remember this is the sun, so it rises because it's positive. And the run is always, it's also positive, so you're gonna go to the right. Okay, and this is my line. Okay, the next 3, they're special cases. Okay, and it says y equals 4. If it has y but it does not have x, that means that you do not touch x. You find your y4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it's right there. And you're gonna cross your line through that 4 without touching x. Okay? No hay x, no toques la x. Okay? You have to be careful though, because sometimes you're gonna have a case like this one, where you say, oh, y equals 0. We know that y is in here, 0. And I said, don't touch the x, but guess what? The line for y equals 0 is right on the x-axis, because basically it says, cut y through 4. Yeah! Okay, in here, it says, cut y through 0. So we find the y, and the 0 is right there, and so I cut y. Right there. Yeah! In here it says cut x through 3. So my x-axis is right here. The 3 is right here. So I'm going to cut it through there. Yeah! Or the other way of thinking about it is you don't have y, don't touch y. Okay? So I'm just going to cross it through there. Don't touch y. And so that's the graph for x equals 3, y equals 0, and y equals 4. So these are special cases where you only have one of the 2 variables. Okay, so now you are able to work on 3.3 and have fun.